Okay, I'm Nanda Pavaday. I'm from a family of 5 sons. My father used to work at the Cattlebone market, and then I'm the fourth son of the family. My brothers and myself, we grew up helping my father at the market, selling
Okay.
vegetables. Uh, so this has been our school of life for my brothers and myself. And my mother was very keen for us to study and do well at school. So we tried not to let her down.
Mm.
And so this has framed our path in life, my path,
Wow.
and like this. Okay, so
Wow.
now I'm a book writer. I write and publish books. The name of my book is called Tizistwar. It tells about Mauritius in the older days, in the prior to technology. I wanted to write about this this time, this period, because I feel that in the space of some 15, 20 years, a lot of things have changed. So I
Mm.
wanted to capture this, and I think there were a lot of values we can learn from. So my book talks about this. Good.
Amazing. Oh, perfect. And you said you're a book writer and you're also a storyteller. Can you tell us more about that and your job?
Okay. The interesting part, I think, is I
Mhm.
never wanted to be a story writer, a book writer. I
Wow.
never wanted to be anything. I didn't want to work. I studied science. I was in school. I was doing very well in science. I got 111 in physics, which was brilliant. But
Wow.
for some reason, I ended up studying economics. And even though was okay in economics, but I was not passionate. And on the day I was
Mm.
leaving Mauritius for my studies, my father passed away on that day. It was a
Really?
traumatic experience. And you
Mm.
imagine at that time when you're leaving the country, you're very vulnerable. So
Mm.
the worst thing that could have happened was that. So I didn't want to go for my studies. It was useless. What was it? I wanted my father to be feel proud after
Yeah.
we spent so many years working with him at the market, at the bazaar. So, like, it was too unfair. So I didn't want
Mm.
to go for studies. But later, my brother told me, my father was very proud to see me
Mm.
travel. He talked about it to everybody. People who came to his funeral was mentioning that. Everybody who came home said, "Hey, but your brother was supposed to take the plane to go. Where is he?" and so on. So
Right.
they told me that maybe you should go.
Mm.
So I went for my studies anyway, but the intention was not there. I went there to accomplish what my father wanted me to do, not
Mm.
because I had a career in mind or I wanted to achieve any success.
Right.
So after my studies, I came back to Mauritius. So everybody was saying, "Hey, you are the one who went to study after your father passed away." So it was like, you're like a Bollywood hero, Amitabh Bachchan. You have come to seek revenge or something. So there were a lot of expectations on me, but I
Mm.
ended up not getting any job for 1 full year. I kept applying for a job, but I got no reply.
Mm.
Nobody called me for any interview. The days turned into weeks, into months. Then 1 year was gone.
Mm.
Students who were younger to me were coming back to Mauritius and getting employed. I was still unemployed. So it was very, very demotivating, depressing, and so on.
Right.
But then something magic happened. When I was home, I had nothing to do. So I went back to the library, municipal library, to read books. I would borrow books and started reading. So I would take a notepad and note some of the things I would read. I
Mm.
like these expressions, I noted them down. Then I would be watching sitcoms on TV. Uh,
Mm.
the one called Friends, La Fête à la Maison, Full
Mm.
House. I used to like these jokes. Hey, this is funny. At least some So unknowingly, I was preparing myself for a career in advertising and communication. What
Wow.
happened is one day my friend's father fell sick. He had to undergo surgery.
Mm,
So when he came back, I was thinking, oh, maybe I should visit him. Even though I didn't know him, I don't know why. I thought I'd go and visit him. So I went to his place, met him, talked to him. Then I felt, okay, at least I'm useful. I'm unemployed for 1 year, not doing anything. Now I'm doing something. So it
mm,
happened the first time, the second time, the third time. Then he one day pick up the newspaper and told, you are not working. Uh, why don't you apply for this job? This is a vacancy in advertising. And then he said, maybe I feel like something, maybe you will do very well in this field. At that time,
mm,
it felt, wow, after 1 year, somebody is believing in me. So maybe I would give it a try. So I sent my application. You needed to fill in empty space, show that you have imagination. I filled the space I sent, and they called me and told me, we want to take you for 3 months. And
oh,
so on the first day I went, it was so magnificent seeing
ah,
people making drawings, making designs, writing, and so on was wow. So
mm,
for me, it was like, this is what I want to be doing the rest of my life. That's why I
mm,
say it was a blind date that turned into true love.
mm,
So this is what I want. So I started learning on the job. But unlike other people, I never learned design, photography, or illustration, nothing. I knew nothing. I never even did literature. So I had
mm,
to learn on the job. They told me, you seem to have some good ideas. We want to give you your chance.
mm,
But it turned out that I didn't have that many ideas. So I had to learn on the job. And then I started learning. First year was horribly torture. Everybody was shouting at me. I didn't know why they were shouting at me. Then progressively, I learned. And then 1 year at the awards, I got a lot of awards. And it went on. And 1 year at the awards, out of 5 categories in competition, best billboard, best TV, best radio, best low budget TV, best press ad, I
wow.
got I got 4 gold award out of 5 of
Wow,
all the
that's
agencies.
incredible.
Yeah, and in all, I think I got 9 prizes that night for the best print advert. The free artworks that were selected, all 3 were mine only.
Mm,
So,
very impressive.
good. So then, for the first time, I realized now I have a job. I want
Mm,
to be doing. I'm quite good at that, and then people were noticing me and so on. So this is it went on for some time. Then one day I started out with my own agency. I
mm,
wanted to work at home
right.
on my old computer, started meeting clients, trying to do. Then I launched my own agency, Amadeus Advertising. And for 7 years, we did really with limited means. I had no money, no finance. It was just working, working, working. We won awards in Réunion Island. Our adverts we did for Toyota Mauritius got recognition, was published in a magazine in Japan, and
Mhm,
it was fantastic.
mm,
So, but then the crisis happened, and suddenly all clients were reducing their budgets. So
yeah.
were the so they were spending, like those who would be spending 1 million were spending 100,000. So
Mm,
suddenly you don't have the same firepower to keep your agency running. I
yeah.
started running at a loss. One day the uh, accountant came to me and told me, Nanda, we are not covering our costs. I propose that we cut the salary of the staff.
Mm,
For this one, 1,000 rupees, this one, 1,500, then we'll be able to cover the cost. I look at that, I felt sick. I told him, on paper, you can do that. But in reality, it doesn't work like this. Some of these people won't be able to buy cheese for their kids or Nestum. So it is not something I can be okay with. So he told me,
Right.
but what do you propose? And I told him, but what I will do, instead of cutting 1,000 on each one salary, I propose not to take my full salary. Then you give everybody the salary. So
Wow.
he told me, you have thought of it? I said, yes, it's okay for me. I will manage. So this I can tell you. You can go in every company in Mauritius. There are not many directors, owners who would do that. Every
But yeah.
company will tell you, we put people first, but they won't. They will put themselves first, then they start. But me, I thought my team is like my family, and so I don't want them to be penalized. So it's okay. So it went, but the problem is the crisis continued for 1 month, 2 months, and after some time, it was not possible to keep it afloat. So
Yeah.
eventually, I closed my agency. On the last day, it was very tough seeing everyone leaving and so on. Your company is closing.
Yeah.
It's like when you have a company, it's like your own child. Every day you wake up, it's your first thought, and every you go to sleep, it's your last thought in the dream. So it's like this. So having to close your company is a big loss.
Yeah.
At that time, I realized I was all on my own and with debts. I had to pay debts I have accumulated with the company. And so I started taking jobs here and there in very difficult situations. In one company I was working, people who were my juniors and my my students when I was teaching at Charlton Fair, I had to take orders from them. So it was very tough.
Yeah.
Anyway, I kept doing it, but that's what happened is since I didn't have a company, and so it was about how do you keep being present in people's mind so people know you are here and can give you work. That's when I started using my Facebook page. I would write a post every day. At that time, Facebook, you could not write a long text. There were one sentence only. There were limit of words. So I used to write a joke every day. Initially, there were one or two people who would read my post and like. So, but it was mostly sympathy votes of my friends who would like my work. But progressively started becoming successful. People I didn't know started following my post daily. One lady told me when it's Sunday, the only reason I wish it to be Monday to go back to work on Monday so I can read your post. It was so I started getting a following, and then one of my posts made a big buzz. The whole country was talking about it, sharing about it in on WhatsApp and so on. Then the newspapers came to interview me, to
Wow.
write about me. Then suddenly I became very popular. Then a newspaper gave l'Express, La Sentinelle, gave me one full page. They call it Baz Nanda, and told me, we want you to write anything you want in this page. But it was not a paid offer. They told me, no, we give you the space and you write what. So I was thinking, oh my God, I need a job that I need money. But the second best option, at least I can use this space and try to build something. So then I started writing on this page once a week. I was given the page. I started writing. Then I thought of writing about Mauritius. That's when I thought the country has changed so much in last 10, 15 years. we were celebrating the 50th anniversary of our independence. Maybe we should talk about that. Maybe I should write about how we used to play football in the streets, how we used to watch Hindi movies on Thursdays, how we used to go to the Chinese shop or celebrate New Year together and things, climb on trees. So I started writing a new story every week.
Yeah.
And then after some time, the problem is even this, there was some change on the newspaper and they stopped with this segment. So they didn't no longer took my articles. So I said, oh my God, now I was finding some satisfaction doing this. Now this also I can't do. But I thought, since I've started, I will keep doing it. So I kept writing a new story every Sunday. I would sit and write a story and kept it for myself. I didn't publish it. At the end of the year, I had a lot of stories. I said, why don't I do something with it? It was the 31st of December. So I published a story called La Veille l'année. And suddenly it made a boom. I created the page Tizistwar du pays, and people were liking, commenting, and so on. Then the next week I posted a second story. If I remember, it was a story, the Chinese shop, La Boutique Chinoise. Then the third week it was Film Indien, Hindi movie. Then everybody was saying, who is this guy? Who is writing this story? Who are you? Why are you writing? Then everybody started telling me, why don't you publish this in a book? So that's when I went ahead and published my book. Usually I was told that most books sell some 30, 50 copies, 100 copies. So when I was trying to print, I was thinking, oh my God, if at least I can print 200 copies and sell it, will be fine. But when I asked people to pre-order the book, immediately I got 400, then 500, 600, 800 copies. So I told them, okay, now only 2 days remaining. Those who wish to have the book too. Then it went to 1,100 copies. So I said I will print 1,500 copies. I printed, all the copies were gone. Then I reprinted 1,000 copies, it was gone, and I've kept reprinting almost every year. And one day, one woman who lives in Australia got her father to buy the book and send to her. She took the book and took a photo on Sydney Bridge. So, and tagged me. When people saw that, wow. Then one lady in Arizona took a photo with my book and said, I have just read a wonderful book from my homeland. Then I was shocked seeing the book had gone to America, to Quebec, Australia, Dubai, England, France, everywhere around the world. So on Christmas Eve, people took photos of my book and sent me photos of the book under the Christmas tree to show how they were attached to the stories of the book. So it was a massive success. And just to conclude on this, then I said, oh, people are reacting to this book. They're touched. It is, people are crying and so on. Maybe I should write it in English also, so foreigners can read it. So I took the challenge of translating the book. It was very painful. Do you translate Roscari or Sirozanana? It was very tough, but I did it and published it, and all the copies were sold. Then I said, why don't I just publish it in India? India has a lifestyle slightly similar to us. They will know what is Roscari, Fimenja, and so on. Then last year in December, I published a book in India. If you go on Amazon, you will see the reviews of these people. I chose to keep the name of the book, Tizistwar du pays. I didn't want to translate it. So people in India are going in bookshops and asking for Tizistwar du pays. They are telling me they like the story called La Veille l'année.
That's cool. That's a good story.
So this is my story.
That's incredible. Wow, that's incredible. Your journey has been long and there were lots of bumps along the way, but you've made it so far and it's incredible. Wow.
Yeah.
And if you had to share one thing to the next generation, what would it be?
You know, like everybody, I've had a career, and my perception of what constitutes success has changed. Initially, like I wanted to do things, get awards, become popular, and but progressively, like I tell you, with my book, one lady sent me a photo of my book, and I asked her, how did you get this? She said, it's for an old woman. She did hospital, even on the hospital bed, she kept the book with her.
Wow.
So I was moved to tears. One guy told me my mom is celebrating her 94th her 94th birthday. She wants to read your book. So she asked me, she wanted to have a copy. She stays in Australia, has been there for 40 years. So I sent her a copy of the book. And I didn't charge her at all. I said, you are doing me a favor reading my book at this age, at 94. So you realize success is not about what you get, it's about what you contribute. If you talk to a lot of people, they'll tell you, I started from nothing, I got this, I got that. But these people focus on what did I get? But this is not a definition of success, because then we are like rats. There's a chunk of cheese, we want to bite into it. But this is not a definition of success. Success is in the contribution that you make. If you look around you, you will see, say, the mango tree or the apple tree. At some point, they understand the true nature and they give something from it. You see? This is our journey. This is what we should be doing. We should try to get to know ourselves, get to know what is our uniqueness, and bring it out. So we all start out in life from a position of insecurity. We feel, oh, I wish people will like me, will accept me. I want to be part of the crowd. I want to be in. But this is the first stage. Eventually, you need to know what do I have that is unique that I can contribute. This becomes your mission. You see? Right. There is no prize, no reward equivalent to being there contributing something for someone. You see? Yeah. There's no reward. I tell you, there's a guy in UK. He's unemployed, and he went to meet a friend, and then when he went there, for the guy told me, when I talked to him, this guy has no family, nobody in UK. When I talked to him, he mentioned your book. He said, he mentioned your book and said, he read your book, and this reminded him of his childhood, and he was very emotional. He talked about it. Then you realize, I'm here in Mauritius. I wrote a book. I didn't have any plan, but there was a plan. The book on its own went to this guy and gave him hope, made him feel valued, made him feel that he matters. So you see, there is no prize, no reward that is equivalent to this. It's about finding what is unique in you and making the contribution, changing people's lives, giving them faith, making them feel hopeful. This is it.